One second, boys. Force versus displacement. Look at this. Okay. Now the area under this graph gives you the work done, but the area under the graph gives you a dimension which is a clear dimension. It is a trapezium, or you can divide it into a rectangle and a triangle. Right? It's a regular figure. When the force is acting on the body is a constant force. Understand, boys? When the force applied on a body is a constant force, which means it remains constant for a certain amount of time. It's not a variable force. When the force acting on a body is a constant force, you can find the work done by calculating the area, because the graph itself gives you either it generates a triangle, or it might generate a trapezium, or it might generate a rectangle. Now look at this graph, the graph which is shown. Look at the graph, boys. Now the blue line represents the variation of your force with a distance. You see the blue line represents the variation of your force with displacement. Is it a straight line? If it would have been a straight line, then your force would have been taken to be a constant. But look at the force itself is variable. When the force is variable, can you see the area? Now, is it a regular figure or is it an irregular one? It's an irregular one. So it is difficult to find the area. Now, in such cases, please understand the force which is being applied on the body is a variable force which generates an area which is an irregular area. The dimension itself is irregular. It's difficult for you to find the area of such graph. Then what is the other way of doing it? Only thing is that what you can do is this entire area is divided into a number of smaller strips, right? A rectangle, or we call this as a strip. So you are being introduced to integral calculus now. What are you doing is this entire shaded portion, this entire area under the graph is divided into a number of strips, rectangular strips. Each and every strip is going to have a thickness of dx. So more number of strips, suppose if I am dividing it into 1000 strips of 1000 or 10,000 range, then I can find the work done if is with greater degree of accuracy. So what you are going to do is you are dividing the entire area into a number of strips, infinitely small, strips of very small width dx. Then you can find, suppose I have divided, let me take one single strip, right, of width dx, then the work done by the force in moving the body through a distance dx. Look at this. The body is initially at position xi. You are applying a force and the body moves to a final position xf. This is the picture. You have a body whose initial position is xi. You have applied a force, and this force is a variable force, which means this force keeps on changing its magnitude, right? Finally, this force is capable of moving the body to a final position of xf. The question is, what is the work done by this force? Because since it's a variable force, you're going to find the work done using your graph. Right? You cannot directly go for, you can go for your mathematical expression. We'll see how you'll be arriving at the mathematical expression. I'm repeating this, boys, a new concept for you, right? You have a body which was initially at xi, position xi. You are applying a variable force so that now the body occupies the position xf, right? I want to find what is the work done by this force. Right. Now the distance between xi to xf, I'm dividing into a number of smaller segment. I'm dividing the distance between xi to xf into a number of equal segments. right? So let us take the first segment, dx. So now, what is your aim is to find the work done by this force in moving the body through a distance dx. Is that clear, boys? You're going to do the work, sorry, you're going to calculate the work done since the body has moved to a smaller distance dx. The work done by the variable force will also be smaller in magnitude, right? So say, suppose if this is if you still are not very clear, say this is 1000 meters, the entire distance is 1000 meter. Let me say dx is equal to say 1 meter. Dx is 1 meter. Let me find what is the work done by the force in moving the body through a distance of 1 meter, right? And then let us find what is the work done by the force in moving the body through a distance of 1000 meter. So what you're doing is that you're finding the work done in moving the body through a smaller displacement dx. So you know the formula for work done, F into x, displacement, right? So here dw displacement is dx. Is that clear, boys? Okay. Now, suppose I have divided the number of strips. Strips are 100 strips are there, right? Or 1000 strips. So this is the work done for one strip. Then what will be the total work done? Into 1000. Or else I have to add everything. Work done for one single strip is dw. Then what is the work done in moving, work done for 1000 such strips? You have to add all the work done. So instead of adding that, you will be introduced what we call it as that is integral calculus. Instead of adding, see how I have divided it into 1000 strips, right? I am finding the work done for one strip, right? So what is the total work done? Total work done will be equal to adding the work done for all 1000 strips. It will become tedious. Instead of that, you go for a mathematical expression. The total work done is integral. This is the area of one strip. That is the work done. What is this? FDX. FDX is the work done for one strip. FDX is the work done for one single strip. Integral xi to xf represents the work done for all the strips. Right? Because unless and until you learn your mathematics, it will be tough for you right now. So only thing is that, yes.
How do you solve them?
Solve, okay, I'll put the identity. Just write this identity, boys.
Should we write the previous page?
No, nothing, nothing, boys. You just write the identity when we go for it. Your mathematics and physics are not correlating. It's difficult every year, not only your class. Every year it becomes difficult for us to match this. So what we do is we just teach you the identities. When you go for your integral calculus, you will understand it much better. Right, boys? Now look at this. If your function is x to the power of n dx, now how will I evaluate this? This is nothing but this entire thing is finding the area under the graphs. Okay, I'll go for this. This is x to the power of n plus 1 by n plus 1. Is that clear, boys? This is your identity. Now look at this integral x dx. It means it is x to the power of 1. So what is the value of n? 1, right? Here the value of n is 1. So this becomes x to the power of n plus 1 by n. So what is that? X to the power of 1 plus 1 by... No, sorry.
X to the power 1.
No, sorry. N plus 1, sorry. I made a mistake. Just copy down. 1 plus 1, 1 second, 1, so 1 plus 1, n plus 1. So x to the power of n dx will be equal to x to the power of n plus 1 by n plus 1. So x to the power of 1 dx will be equal to x to the power of 1 plus 1 by 1 plus 1, which is x squared by 2. Will you do for the next one? Boys, will you do for x squared dx? What is x squared dx?
This one once again will do.
Okay.
Ma'am, is it x square by 3? X
No,
square
it's
by
n
3.
plus, no, n plus 1, boys.
Oh, okay, n plus 1.
Hmm.
Okay, x cube
So
by
what is
3.
okay?
X cube by 3.
Yeah, x cube by 3. What is the other one, boys?
Ma'am, do we need to write this?
X raised to 5 by 5.
Yeah, yeah. Just 1 or 2, 3. These things are enough, boys, for you. Just write the identity. Yeah, yeah. So just write the identity. Go for second one. Go for the third one. So just one part you have to add. Since the request has come from your class, we are lagging behind. I cannot go much into depth of your integration, boys. Fine. Fine, boys. Now we will see how to apply the limits. Let us see how you can apply the limits. Now look at this, boys. Right? X to the power of, say, 2 dx. Your x is going to take a value of 0 to 1. Now this is called the lower limit. Was, have you checked? Suppose the body is initially was at xi and finally it has moved to xf. Xi becomes the lower limit, xf becomes the upper limit, right? So I'm just teaching you only in terms of identity mathematical part, how to evaluate. Now this value 0 is your lower limit, this value 1 is your upper limit, right? Now look at this. The physical quantity which is changing is your x. So x will have both lower limit and upper limit. Now how to evaluate? Now what is x squared dx when you evaluate? X to the power of 3 by 3. Now I have to put the lower limit and upper limit. First, your x will take the upper limit first. X will now take the value of the upper limit. What is the upper limit over here? 1. So x takes the value 1 cube by 3. Next, x takes the value lower limit. So 0 cube by 3. So this becomes equal to 1 by 3. Should I redo? Should I redo this, boys? No need. You understood.
Now, why do we subtract it?
It's always like that. Upper limit minus the lower limit. Fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Now
Ma'am,
I'll
is it
give you
because the change in the
value of x, change in the value of x. X is going
X.
to vary between the lower limit and upper limit. I'll give you one more thing. You just calculate this, boys. I want
Upper limit, lower limit on the initial and final positions, right?
final, yes, yes.
Oh, what quantity are they? Is it work?
Yeah, fine. Yes. As we move on, you will understand it much better, boys. If I keep on doing this, I'll not be able to complete your. Can you evaluate this? Put the lower and upper limit. So x cube by 3, correct? So this is 1 to 2. So x will take first the low upper limit first. So what is the 2 cube? Okay, 2 cube. Was x will take first upper limit first, right? The value of x becomes
Yes, ma'am.
2 cube by 3 minus, now it will take the value
1
lower
cube
limit.
by
X
3.
becomes 1 cube by 3. So that becomes 8 by 3
7 cube
minus 1 by 3.
sorry, 7 by 3.
7 by This is how you evaluate. Basic things I have finished. Next, we'll go for work energy theorem for a variable force. Right, boys? Previous case, we have done work energy theorem for a constant force. What does work energy theorem states? When the change in the kinetic energy of a body is equal to the work done. If you do more work on an object, the change in kinetic energy of the object will be greater. That's the work energy theorem. Work energy theorem states that the change in kinetic energy is equal to the work done. Now, in the previous case, we derived considering your work force to be a constant force. Now, let us derive an expression when your force is a variable force. Right, boys? The same thing. A variable force F acts on a body of mass M and produces a displacement. I can go for dx in the same direction. Then what is the work done? Produces a very small, boys, produces a very small displacement. What is the formula for work done? Okay.
Fs cos theta.
Formula is force into displacement. Okay. Now here, what about your displacement, boys?
Ma'am,
Displacement
ds.
Yes, displacement is very small, so the work done will also be of smaller magnitude. So how can I write your work done? dW. dW means a very small
equal
work
to
done because the
f
displacement is small.
dx.
Boys, here we consider though the force acting on the body is a variable force, but for the very small displacement, we consider the force to be a constant. All these are assumptions. Are you clear, boys? Now look at this. You have a body A moving with a velocity U. You have applied a force which is varying, so that finally the velocity of the body changes to V. Is that clear? It's a variable force. But look at this case. When the body undergoes a very small displacement, you are considering the force to be very small. Headache. Headache. So dW is equal to, anyway, I think so. I've used ds itself. Right, boys?
Ma'am, should we write this?
Yeah, you're right. Be a bit fast and right, boys. dW is equal to F ds. Here, though the force acting on the body, right, throughout the journey is a variable force, but when the displacement is very small, you are considering the force to be almost a constant. Okay.
Ma'am, is that the diagram for the derivation?
Yes. If you not necessary, you need to draw the diagram, boys. So this is an expression one. This is the work done in moving the body through a very small distance. Now we'll go for Newton's second law of motion. What is your force? Force is equal to mass into acceleration. So what is acceleration, boys? Rate of change of velocity. What is dv by dt? It is rate of change of velocity. Your velocity is changing with time. Right? Now, can you substitute this equation 2 in equation 1 and get me an expression for dW?
Ma'am, I have to substitute the value m dv by dt, yeah?
Correct. In equation 1. Where you are staying? Azure, where you are staying in Alberta?
Ma'am, dw is the work done for a small work, yeah?
Yeah, for a smaller displacement. Now we'll substitute the force over here. Are you getting this? dw is equal to, boys, are you getting dw is equal to, I'm substituting for force, okay. One small rearrangement we'll make. Instead of dv by dt, I'll take it as ds by dt. Can you see that? I have taken ds by dt. I'm just making a small rearrangement, right? Now, what is ds by dt? Velocity. Are you clear, boys? Right? ds, I'm just making a small rearrangement. So my expression becomes m into, if you feel it difficult, I'll do this. So dw becomes equal to m dv by dt into ds. You can.
Ma'am, we understood where you're going.
So now dw becomes equal to mv dv. This is the work done in moving the body through a smaller displacement. Now let us find what is the work done in changing the velocity of the body from u to v. What is the work done in changing the velocity from u to v? So here, which is varying, boys? In this expression, which is a variable? Which is a variable?
V.
Velocity is varying. Mass is a constant. Okay? And next, if the applied force changes the velocity from u to v, then what will be the total work done? It's like this. dw must be equal to total work done, because your velocity is changing from u to v. You are using your integral calculus. Now, can you solve this, boys? Now, boys, 1 second. It is v dv. It is similar to x dx. So, what is x integral x dx? What is the value?
X raised to n plus 1.
If, boys, this is having a power 1. So 1 means 1 plus 1. So it becomes x squared by 2. Correct? So now then what is integral v dv?
V square by 2.
Squared by 2. Clear, boys? Am I going a little bit fast? Okay, so v dv becomes equal to what? V squared by 2. Then you have to apply your lower limit and your upper limit. Now, why m is taken outside? M is a constant. When the body is moving, mass will not change. Only velocity will change. Are you clear, boys? X dx is x squared by 2. So, v dv becomes equal to what? V squared by 2. Now, you apply your limits. Apply the limits, boys. V will take upper limit first and then lower limit. Can I take half outside? Can I take half outside?
Yes, ma'am. Because it's a
I'll
constant.
take m by 2. Okay, m by 2. Now, v squared. Now, let me apply the limit. So, v takes the upper limit. This is upper limit. So, v becomes v itself. V squared minus, it takes the lower limit. U squared. Correct?
Ma'am, how did it become u square?
No, v
We are
takes upper
substituting
limit
the
first.
value.
Here v is going to take, suppose 1 second, if you're finding it difficult, I'll go for some other notation. Suppose I'm having v dv a to b, correct? I'll go for this. So what is the integral? V squared by 2, right, boys? So it goes from a to b. I'm taking half outside. So half, no, v squared will take upper limit. Which is your upper limit? B. So it becomes b squared. V takes the value, not v squared. V takes the value of b. Don't get it confused, boys. Even if it is v cube, v takes the value of b. Minus v takes the value of which limit? A. So a squared. Are you clear? Are you clear, boys?
Yes, ma'am.
Anyone in B section?
So then it will be v square minus v square.
Okay. Now you, boys. Now this expression looks like what?
Ma'am, it's
Change
kinetic
kinetic
energy thing, right? The
Left hand side is what? Work
done.
done. Now you're proving the theorem. What does the theorem states? Work done is equal to change in kinetic energy. Is that clear, boys? You need to work, go home and work. Complete this. This will be an important 2 marks or a 3 mark question from your theory point of view. Shall I move for the next one, boys? I'm not going for the numerical right now. I'll, as much as possible, theory I'll finish. Only till whatever we have learned
The
today.
previous slide.
Work energy theorem. Only till you'll be having this for your exams. Yeah. Kinetic energy, 9th standard you have learned. I'm not deriving that. Right? But I have to go for the numericals for kinetic. But anyway, I'll proceed with it. Only till this topic is your.
Okay, ma'am.
So, ma'am, this is the equation for variable force.
Yes?
This is the
Yes.
equation for variable force?
Yeah, yeah. Now, next one. Next one. Just start writing was gravitational potential energy. Gravitational potential energy. Again, this will go as a 2 mark question. This is not there for your half yearly. Okay. Gravitational potential energy. Okay. We'll see what is gravitational potential energy. Now look at the statement. Gravitational potential energy of an object at a point above the ground. Suppose if I have, if your tabletop becomes your reference, I can have an object on the ground. That becomes my reference. That becomes my reference level. Now, say this book is lying on the table, right? Now I have to. Now, what is the force which is acting on the book? The book is at rest. Its own weight is acting in the downward direction, right? Because the book is applying a force on the table. Table is exerting an equal amount of force upward, normal reaction. Both are cancelling, so this book is at rest. Now, when I'm lifting this object, I want to move this object to a height h above the ground. So what I have to do is, I have to apply a force which should be at least equal to its own weight, gravitational force, or greater than that. So I am lifting this object by applying a force against gravity, moving it to a certain height, which means I've applied a force and moved the object to a height. Force is applied, displacement is also being done, right? So now the body is at a certain height. Whatever work I have done will be stored as the energy in the body, and that energy we call it as gravitational potential energy. That is the reason when I'm leaving this object now has a stored up energy. It will utilize this energy in doing some work. Are you clear, boys? I think the others sitting at home, you understood what is meant. Should I repeat?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am, one doubt.
Yes.
Ma'am, you told that suppose when you keep a book on a table, the book exerts a pressure on the like a force on the table, and the table exerts an equal force.
Yes, correct.
So in a scenario like if the table doesn't exert an equal force, like if it's like less or doesn't exert a force at all, what will happen?
Then it has to get inside the table. That's it. But it exerts. Otherwise, the body will not be in a state of rest. Your book will not be in a state of rest. I'll
Okay.
repeat this once again, boys. Once again, say I'm having a body. So I'm having a body of mass m lying on ground, right? Its own weight is acting in the downward direction, which means your force of gravity is acting in the downward direction. There is a gravitational pull, right? Okay, there is a force of gravity acting in the downward direction. Now, I am applying a force against the force of gravity and then moving the body to a height h. I am applying a force against gravity and moving the body upwards to a height h, which means I have applied a force and I have moved the body, a work is said to be done. You're doing a work. You're doing a work against gravity. Now, whatever work you do against gravity will be stored as an energy in the body at a certain height. And this energy, we call it as gravitational potential energy. Have you heard about your power station, hydroelectric power station? Your reservoir is in the ground level or your reservoir is at a higher level? Have you seen? Your reservoir will be at a higher level, then they'll open the gates, it will fall. Why the reservoir is at a higher level? Where you are storing, see, when the height is going to increase, then the energy stored in the body will also increase. At higher level,
I guess our maths class started.
yeah,
Our
Yes.
maths class
started.
Yes, ma'am, like our meeting, ma'am. Shweta
Anyway,
ma'am
ma'am will have to come to the class itself, right?
Yeah, okay.
Fine, boys.
So ma'am, the force applied will be in the direction of the normal, right?
Which one?
In this gravitational potential energy. Because
Gravitational
the normal
potential. I think you're maxed. Tomorrow, anyway, you need to copy this. You can proceed with that. Okay, fine, boys. And one more thing, I just want to check with you.
Yes, ma'am.
She left.
Yeah, we realized.
Wait, class got over right now.
She was like she wanted to check something with us and she left.
Damn.
Maybe this is what she wanted to check. Anyway, recording is on, you know.
She wanted to check if the leave button was working.
Nice.
Smart.
The class is still recorded.
Will automatically stop, so let's just leave.